I'm Jeff Koinange, and this is Jeff Koinange Live. First off, apologies for beginning this show late, but I guarantee you it is worth the wait, because tonight we are debating the issues. Baba is back, fire extinguishers ready. We got two protagonists, both of them very vocal, on the floor of the House. Right here next to me is three-time Member of Parliament for Gem. Yes, indeed, Washington, Jakoyo Midiwo. Right next to him, another outspoken Member of Parliament, two-time MP from Mukurweni, Kabando wa Kabando, the former student leader. We're talking issues. We're talking everything that's been happening since Baba returned. Now that Baba's back, while he was away.
So many things happened.
Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Obviously, it was a little anticlimactic, if you ask me, Moshimi. It was a little anticlimactic on Saturday after Baba finished. It was like, what do we do now? It's like the people were expecting something else.
Yes, because people are frustrated. The Jubilee government made very rosy promises to Kenyans. And with the changes in the constitution and nothing is forthcoming. So generally, the expectations are high. So we thought that by talking to people and putting certain demands on the table to the government, we can get somewhere so that the government can begin to get things moving.
Were you surprised, Mushmu? Were you surprised with Baba's speech on Saturday?
No, I wasn't.
It was a little soft, though.
It was soft because we want to move things forward. We are not in the trajectory that would bring down the government. All we are saying is that the Constitution requires us and the government to consult for the betterment of Kenyans.
Mushmu, what do you think of that? What do you think of Baba's speech on Saturday?
I think it will be an understatement if I said that the expectations were very misguided. Very misguided in the sense that people should have understood from the very beginning that that was a homecoming party, a return home party for the leader of the CORD coalition. Otherwise, if it's about speaking about Jubilee, he is part of government. I'm part of government. We are all part of government. Because government has three institutions, three arms: the legislature, the judiciary, and the executive. And we have a Jubilee at the CORD governors and senators and members of parliament and members of the county assemblies. So if you have to say that today we have not delivered anything in the last 1.5 years that we have been in office, we'll be sounding a serious indictment, a serious criticism of ourselves. Because what would you say about those governors that belong to the CORD coalition in 24 counties in this country who have received substantial amounts of money, up to tunes of 40%, and they are supposed to be involved very comprehensively? What about the members of parliament who have received a significant amount of the taxpayers' money for CDF to manage the resources on the ground?
So you're saying it's uncalled for? You're saying Jubilee has performed in the last year and change?
We know that we have a lot of ground to cover because our contract is between March 2013 to August 2017. It's a contract of nearly 5 years. The same applies to the opposition, both in parliament. And what people are also forgetting, the people who are speaking out here, the main luminaries of the CORD coalition, one of them is a leader of minority in the Senate. The man I'm debating tonight, my good old friend, Jakoyo, is a deputy minority leader of the Kenya National Assembly. These are guys who are driving GK vehicles with the good offices, with employees in their constituencies.
What's your point?
My point is we are part of the problem that is Kenya, and we should accept as a national leadership of this country that we are part of the solution.
Mheshimiwa, let me ask you this. Was it right or wrong to say that Baba or the people around him were asking for Nusu Mkate. Was it right?
It was very wrong.
Was it misinterpreted?
It was very misinterpreted. What we are saying, we're asking for a national dialogue. Remember, I was on KTN last Tuesday.
With James Smart and Sophia.
James Smart and Sophia.
Yep.
And I said, the president needs to do something to bring the country together. He swore an oath to hold this country together. And everything is going wrong. Security, terrorism, corruption, everything is going on. So we want the president. We have this feeling that the implementation of the Constitution has stalled. Because all that is wrong today, we Kenyans already prescribed answers in the new Constitution. When the president wakes up and appoints some people called county commissioners, and then he tells them, Kimai is in Nairobi, I'm going to be calling you direct. You know, he's missing the point. He's doing everything wrong at every opportunity he gets. And we are saying we need to guide you because we don't think this Jubilee government is equal to the task. And let me just answer, my friend. We cannot share Jubilee blame. Jubilee is the government. We are the opposition, and we are proud to play that role. And we are going to play it. But we are saying we will not sit back and see plunder of public resources. We will not sit back and see insecurity. While this, the solutions actually, the problem even with security, the solutions are actually there.
Yeah.
We probably have the wrong people in the right offices. So we need to sit down. Yeah.
Majority Leader Eden Dwale said yesterday there's no such thing as a national dialogue. If they want to come to State House for tea, they can come for tea. But talk of a national dialogue seems out of the question.
You know, Jeff, we need to be very honest and very candid to the citizens of the Republic of Kenya. Dialogue is happening daily in the Senate. Dialogue is happening daily in the National Assembly. We also have 47 county assemblies in this country. And if we say that things have not happened, you know, are we saying that Ways of Fund launch and the process of disbursement is wrong? To my understanding, the process has been approved by the National Assembly through the respective committees, and Uwezo is being rolled out.
Okay.
What about the cash transfers for the vulnerable?
Fine. Maybe we don't talk enough about the successes, but when you have things like debacles like the laptop, debacle, it looks like it's been shelved now, right? And then Anglo leasing. When you have things like that happening, people jump on that and they forget the good thing. Mheshimiwa, do you agree?
I agree. Even the worst scandal ongoing today is the Safaricom deal. Safaricom is not a security firm. The president is not a procurement person. That needs to be done by people in ministries. That State House can say the president made a phone call to Safaricom to procure 1,800 cameras at 15 billion shillings. It means they want to buy one camera at 700 million shillings, thereabout. Which camera costs that much? And then somebody has not explained to this country. When we did have Metropolitan Ministry, in the year, the budget of 2012-2013, we gave them about 4 billion, Bob. Where are cameras in Nairobi? Where are cameras? You know, you can't just openly plunder. Something is not right. And we are saying we can't sit back and watch. Mheshimiwa talks about Ways of Fund. What is 16 million shillings in a constituency compared to 15 billion shillings in a couple of people's pockets? There's nothing like that. And we, as Kenyans, must accept. Let me just say this, Jeff. Kenyans must accept that things have changed. And for Duale to say he's inviting us for a cup of tea or inviting Baba for a cup of tea, Baba has just been having tea with Obama. Which tea would Baba would rather have? I mean,
you didn't have tea with Obama.
Yeah, well,
there's no tea. Hakuna chai.
No, Jeff. I want us to talk issues.
Yes.
Yeah. Let us avoid the propaganda. Because, we also don't want to criticize individuals. Raila Odinga is a national leader who deserves a lot of respect, and so is Uhuru Kenyatta and their deputies, respectively William Ruto and Kalonzo Musyoka. Let us focus on specific issues that need to be addressed. On Saturday, what were the issues that were raised for national dialogue? If it is IEBC, they want to be discussed. The Constitution is very clear on the process and procedures to be followed for either review, disbandment, or restructuring of IEBC. And by the way, when we are talking about IEBC, are we saying that Jakoyo Midiwo and Kabando were not legitimately elected? Are we saying all the senators, the MCAs, the members of parliament, or are we just simply groaning and throwing tantrums after a Supreme Court decision? Daily, we appreciate when the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal make decisions after individuals go through the High Court for petitions. Now that the judiciary made that decision, why do we want to preoccupy Kenyans with our own inability to move on?
But let me ask you this. Do you folks honestly want to overhaul the IEBC? Is that the case? You want to overhaul it?
For sure.
And why? Because you didn't win?
And I'll tell you why. Of course we won. Our votes were stolen. And then let me tell you this. Presidential.
You're saying right here on the bench?
On the bench that our votes were stolen. And if I ask Kabando today, how many votes did Uhuru Kenyatta get? And how many votes did Raila Odinga get? He cannot answer that. And let me tell you, nobody. When the chairman of IEBC was called by the Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament, he says he was on Ramadan, he couldn't answer that question. He's still on Ramadan. Really. But let me tell you this. IEBC itself last month was in the coast, said the way the electoral system is structured in the Constitution, they can't handle it. It needs to be talked about. It needs to be staggered. What we are saying, that we need to know there was corruption. How did they even fail? You know, why are we in this culture as a country that people plunder, then you keep them there? He says there's a constitutional way of removing them. Okay, that may be there. But half of this country do not have confidence in IEBC. And I can tell you.
Says who? Says who?
Says Jakoyo.
Excuse me. Can I intervene there?
Yep.
Jakoyo Midiwo speaks and says half of the country.
Yeah.
But which half of the country? The best referendum, the best statement for people's voice and decision is the ballot. You see, what we are failing to tell Kenyans is that we are happy to be in National Assembly as members. I want to repeat that. And we want to be in the Senate and take up seats in the Senate, become a minority and majority leaders in the Senate. We also want to say our governors are legitimately in office. You see a very, very simple contradiction in this city. You are likely to see Jakoyo Midiwo and his group in Mathare campaigning for a candidate in Mathare by election, yet they are saying no other election shall be held in Kenya and IEBC. They are not talking about the National Assembly, the Senate, the governors, the members of the County Assembly. They are only talking about election about Raila Odinga. You are misleading the old man.
No, but look at the petitions. In every petition in this country, IEBC is to blame. Oh, the court that you're praising so much, is finding IEBC guilty in almost all the petitions. You know, all fake signatures, all kinds of forms missing. The IEBC itself is on record as having admitted they have no capacity. The chairman said the other day they didn't have enough time to prepare, while he went on national television, told Kenyans, we are ready, all systems are ready. Then he goes and bangles elections and expects us to spare him. We cannot.
Okay, let me ask you about this. And you know, it was the first time we conducted such an election. I'm not defending Itzhak Hassan. I think, you know, he can defend himself. But it's the first time we conducted a 6-tier election. And it was difficult. It was challenging in any respect. But for the most part, you can't turn around and say, oh, it was corrupt or you all won, because you took it to the Supreme Court and it was thrown out.
The Supreme Court, what did they do? First of all, our primary evidence, Supreme Court cleverly refused to accept it. Number two, I don't believe myself that 2 weeks is enough to determine those cases. Number three, because we are trying to resolve something. You do not need to vote in Moyale, then send, if there is actual physical results, to some computer, convert them electronic, so that they go to some server at NIS or at Kencol. Something is amiss. I mean, you don't need computers for that. I was in Florida after Al Gore George Bush debacle. I was there, and they went back manual. Why can't somebody in Sierra County, for example, announce to Jeff Koinange, here UK got this much votes and Raila got this much votes, and that stands the result, so that whatever is taken to court is just the CI results if there's controversy.
But let me clarify this. You say Raila won in 2013.
He won in 2013. He won in 2007.
Both times.
Yes, and the same group took his vote. The same people.
Okay.
The same people.
Thank you. Thank you. I think we'll be doing a lot of fairness to our national leaders. Instead of groaning and throwing tantrums daily, you see, I find it difficult that now we should be talking about the process of restructuring IBC if there is a need. It's not at Uhuru Park, and it will never happen at Uhuru Park. This constitution was passed overwhelmingly in August 2010, and we have voted all elected leaders in this country, including the two of us in the National Assembly, to make sure that that constitution is upheld and is respected.
Gentlemen, hold that thought. I think we have a phone call. James has been holding from Kasarani for a while. By the way, the phone call is 0712 915 117. I think we have James from Kasarani. James, if you can hear us, thanks for holding. Talk to me.
Yes, now my contribution.
Real quick.
I want to tell Jakoyo, is a person that I admire most. We have a constitution in place which is passed overwhelmingly. Now we praise the independent institutions in place. Look at IBC, look at the National Constitution Commission, look at the Senate, look at the National Assembly. These are institutions where we just got a lot of power from the president, we diluted power from the president, and we distributed to these institutions. It is called Leader Raila Odinga who told us that this constitution is good. Now, what is wrong with us respecting these institutions? Why can these guys go to the Senate if they have a problem with devolution? If the constitution is not being implemented, it should be. Why can they go to Nyachai and his team? Now, if these people want to tell us that they have a problem with procurement of security equipment, like the cameras which want to be installed by Safaricom, why can these guys go to the High Court?
Okay.
Appeal,
yeah.
And then the Supreme Court. Now, I want to tell Jakoyo, if you have a problem with the IBC, why can't they show the way? Why can't they resign en masse in ODM? Then there, we talk to the people and we say, guys, you see, there's a problem here.
Okay, James.
Guys are themselves to be
James.
To proclaim that they were elected.
All right.
With the same IBC.
Thank you, James. We get your point, okay? We get your point, James. Thank you very much for that. Gentlemen, I'll let you answer that after the break. We're going to take a quick break, pay some bills, come back. By the way, Kabando Wakabando's Twitter handle is @Wakabando. Mine is @Koinange Jeff. Washington Jakoyo Midiwo is still in analog land. The hashtag is JKL. Keep the tweets coming. We'll be right back after this.
I knew.